Hello, I'm Paul Beckwith. Right now, the Earth is being crushed by the consequences of abrupt climate change, whether that be very, very warm oceans leading to turbocharged superstorm hurricanes like Harvey, Irma, Maria, etc., or whether it be due to the extreme weather events, the droughts, torrential rains in other places that are leading climate change to magnify these megafires around the planet. In fact, about a week ago, I did a whole video on how climate change magnifies megafires. And now, of course, we have the California fires, which I'll focus on in this video. Just getting the lights to improve the contrast. So this is my website, paulbeckwith.net. Please consider supporting my research and videos. I've done hundreds of YouTube videos on trying to teach the public and alert the public to the reality of abrupt climate change and the enormous risks that we face and the huge consequences to human societies. I mean, this problem cannot be overstated. Okay, so right now in Northern California, the firestorm literally exploded. Okay, 15 people dead. There's up to 200 people missing was the latest I heard. Hundreds of homes being destroyed. You know, it was 1,500 homes, and then it's gone to 2,000 homes. And, you know, these numbers will continue to get larger and larger as the structures are being investigated. More than 200 reported missing. Okay, these fires were extremely fast, and I'll explain why they were so fast and how climate change plays an important role in making them a lot worse. So more than 20,000 residents evacuated. Okay, so they ignited Sunday night into Monday morning. I'll show you the details, the actual timing of how they ignited from looking at particulates in the atmosphere. Spreading over 50,000 acres in Napa and Sonoma counties. Okay, wine country. Destroyed 200,000 structures, sending at least 100 to the hospital. So the Tubbs fire is currently burning at 27,000 acres. Basically, it was 0% confined. Last I looked, and it completely destroyed some neighborhoods in Santa Rosa, city of 125,000 people. Okay, so this is an image which I posted on Twitter. This is a before shot with an elementary school here. There's an open field here, and there's the open field here and here. All these houses on all of these blocks have been razed to the ground, so they no longer exist. Okay, the cause of the fire is under investigation. Dry grass and underbrush, very rapid growth. I'll show you how the fires all seem to start within the space of a few hours of each other at different locations. This makes it very suspicious in my mind. Okay, the largest fire, the worst wildfire in California history, the Cedar Fire of 2003, burned more than 273,000 acres, destroyed 2,800 structures, and killed 15. So we've already had, you know, we're definitely having more fatalities than 15, and we're rapidly approaching the number of structures. So this fire ongoing is rivaling, probably larger than that fire. There's lots of information here on all these different websites, great articles. You know, it talks about how fire budgets, etc. This particular one is, you can just Google Think Progress and you know, put in this title and you can easily find the article. On Twitter, you know, anytime there's a breaking something going on, something breaking, just go to Twitter, put in the hashtag, you know, check the different hashtags. So here's California wildfires, lots of people posting there. This is new posts in the last half hour or so. California fires is another hashtag, and there's less results here. You can get the latest. Okay, so this is the latest third night of being on alert. Okay, so there's still lots of smoke. There's still lots of fires going on. Still continuing. It's a continuing thing going on. There's more evacuations and so on. Okay, on this hashtag there were a lot more new results here, so you can click on that and you can get the latest images and the effects on California. Okay, the smoke. Okay, so the Santa Ana winds, what are we talking about here? If we have a high pressure area up here, from a high pressure area, the winds go clockwise around it. High pressure air leaves the high pressure, goes to low pressure, loops around it. So we get these winds. They cross the high elevation mountains. So they're on the upwind side of the mountains. Before they hit the mountains, they're raised up. The air, so any water vapor in the air forms clouds, gets precipitated out. Is cold at the top of the mountain and then descends down towards the coastline. And as it descends lower and lower, it warms up through adiabatic heating, but it's got almost no water vapor in it. It's extremely dry. So this is one, you get the high pressure, pushes winds to a low pressure area off the coast. Okay, the winds are blocked by the Sierra Nevada, so they have to go northward or they go southward. Then they cross the desert. That helps to heat the air, dry the wind, so it just has adiabatic heating. As it descends to lower altitudes, it's heated up over the desert also, so it's extremely dry winds. And then there's lots of canyons here. The air squeezes through these narrow canyons. It gets compressed, which also heats it up. It's accelerated. It gets to, we're talking 50, 60, 70 mile an hour winds in some places, very gusty. It can go through these canyons, and then it goes through, so it's including the Santa Ana Canyon, and that's what gives the air its name. So it's very, very high wind. So now when you get a fire and you get the embers, those spread very, very quickly. If you go to the northern, okay, so basically here's the high pressure area, clockwise flow from a high pressure area because things deflect to the right in the northern hemisphere because of the Coriolis force. And then the air goes over the mountains, descends down, and gets compressed and warmed. It's less humid. The temperatures are higher here, so the relative humidity is very low. It dries out vegetation, dries out the soils, and it can fan any existing fires. Gusts goes between the canyons, gusts to 40 to 60 miles an hour, and it's very turbulent. You get a lot of turbulence, and any fire with embers can spread very, very rapidly. There's a couple different names here. Okay, so here's the Santa Ana winds down towards LA. If we go up towards San Francisco, there's Mount Ana up here. There's a Mount Diablo up towards San Francisco, so they're called the Diablo winds, the devil winds, if you like. Very hot, very dry, fire spreads rapidly. If you go southward, the similar winds are called the El Norte winds. Okay, so all kinds of, this is a LA Times article from today. Like I say, there's all kinds of news sources, and I'm not going to dwell on these sources. Let's look at the climate of California. Okay, it's considered a Mediterranean climate. A lot of places along the coastline, like San Francisco and Los Angeles. So what we have here is we have rain in the winter, and we have very dry summers. And by the time we get to the end of the summer, things are very, very dry. And we get these Santa Ana winds or the Diablo winds forming. This is typical Mediterranean climate, it's called. This is San Francisco, same sort of thing. So you can have a look. If you just Google San Francisco climograph, or these are called climographs. Okay, you can just Google them. Los Angeles climograph or San Francisco, and you can get the climograph for any particular city that you're looking at. The last video I talked about megafires and about how climate change is tipping the scales to more wildfires. And there's lots of good resources that you can look at here. This is the US wildfire tracker, which I show here. So if you go to this site, just Google US wildfire tracker, you can get real-time information on where the fires are, what the radar conditions are of the weather, you know, is there going to be rain, is there going to be high winds, etc. The air pollution, if you Google global air pollution, you can get updated, almost real-time images of the global air pollution levels. And what you can see, you can zero in on the California region, and you can see that the air quality is extremely poor over the regions where the fires are. So if you're going to be in those regions, wear masks. The air quality is very, very bad, very, very risky to your health, especially to the health of, you know, it's always the very young people, toddlers, babies that are affected the most. Also the very old people who may have underlying health conditions and their respiratory system is not as efficient as sort of, you know, people in between the babies, the very young people and the very old people in better health. Okay, so this is an image. If you Google Earth Nullschool, one of my favorite sites, then right here we're looking at the surface winds and the air temperature. You can see the regions of California, very hot air temperatures, almost 30 degrees Celsius. Or click this, it's almost 86 Fahrenheit, you know, all the way up in these regions where the fires are. So the temperatures are really hot. We're closer to the ignition point. Fires can start easier. Now what I want to show you here is, this is Earth Nullschool looking at, you can look at the chemistry. So this is the carbon monoxide, and you can see the sources of pollution. You can also see where the industrial areas are, but this is from the fires. Let's look at particulates here. And this is particles under 1 micron in diameter. This is under 2.5 micron, so it includes this category. And this is under 10 micron. So let's have a look at this. And let's go back and have a look at the time progression of this. So we'll go back a day. And then we'll go back more time here. Okay. Let's go back another day. Okay. And we'll go back even more. Okay, boom. Okay, there's nothing here. There's nothing. Okay, up in this region. Okay, so have a look at this region. This is at 1900 or 7 o'clock local time on the 9th, on October 9th. And what you can see is as we cycle forward, this is at 8 o'clock local time, and then we go to 9 o'clock, and boom. Okay, so all of these spots, so suddenly between, this is 9 o'clock p.m. and this is 8 o'clock p.m. So between 8 o'clock and 9 o'clock p.m., all of these areas here sprang up. So these fires, it looked like they all started within an hour of each other in multiple different regions. So this is, I think this is highly suspicious. Were they set deliberately? Was this a coordinated thing? I mean, I'm sure this needs to be investigated, you know, very carefully. But I mean, look at this. Like I say, this is at 2000, which is 8 o'clock local time. And this is an hour later. All of these areas here sprung up. Not only that, but these areas here, you know, this area here got bigger as well. Okay, so they all sprung up within an hour. And then I can cycle through. You know, they're building in intensity. I'm cycling through on an hourly basis here, and you can see them expanding and getting larger and larger. And we can just keep going here and cycle through. And then they're starting to fade as we get to the, you know, where we are now. Okay, so this is a very serious thing. You know, have a look at it for yourself. Google Earth Nullschool. Have a look at it for yourself. These fires all sprung up, it seems, within an hour of each other, simultaneous. This is a very bad sign. Thank you for watching.